It's Margaret Wallace Duffy from the Preventative Health Month and Movement recognized by Health Canada. And you know, one of the things that I love more than anything, and that is educating and empowering everyday people and healthcare professionals alike to get into the driver's seat to become the CEO of their health. And I got to tell you, conversations like the one we're about to have right now, in collaboration with other like minded healthcare professionals and entrepreneurs, lights me up. It's what I've done my entire career, and it's what this movement and joining the family, PHAMILY, is all about. And so today I get to combine the things I love, education, sharing it with all of you, bringing together incredible people to make a difference in the impact of the health of people and our communities. And also today we're talking about something that is absolutely in my wheelhouse of passion, and that's musculoskeletal health. Now, you all know I have a background in kinesiology and I'm a massage therapist. And for the last 3 and a bit years, I've been working in collaboration with the founder of OsteoSound, Megan Burmester, to bring a new bone scan to Canada that is a game changer when it comes to musculoskeletal health, osteoporosis diagnosis, and management. And over the past 3 and a bit years, not only have we been taking this REMS device on the road, but we've been collaborating with other partners in order to bring this technology into new communities and to educate about the differences between the REMS and the current standard of care, the OHIP covered DEXA scan that only looks at bone mineral density. But today, we're going to find out why the OsteoSound REMS device is really getting hold here in Canada and why it's so important in changing the landscape. We're also going to introduce you to another ambassador who's been part of the family from day one and actually goes back more than 15 years with me, Leslie Ann Spicer, founder of Balanced Bodies, who I've had the privilege of working with in a multitude of ways over the years. And then the family brings together new people. And on the screen as well is Lisa Ferguson, the founder of the Healing Nook in Smith Falls, who attended our launch of PHAM this February at Canada's largest tech hub. And she was at the launch event. And because of that, all four of us are coming together to make an announcement and talk about a really cool event we have coming up on June 2nd. So welcome, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So why don't we kick off with you, Megan, to talk about, because this event on June 2nd is something we've done this before. In fact, we've done it in Brock, Vegas, as Leslie would love to say, her hometown of
Mhm.
Brockville before, bringing together the REMS bone scan and fascial stretch therapy together, because collaborating and bringing different tools to the toolbox really improves the outcomes of patients. And that's what OsteoSound is all about. Can you just briefly talk about, Meg, what is this REMS bone scan and why is the education, but also collaborating with someone like Leslie so important?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all know, I've said this many, many times before, but we'll pretend that the people who are hearing this have never heard it before. The OHIP covered test, DEXA, is X-ray based, whereas the REMS technology is ultrasound based. The DEXA scan only shows quantity of bone. REMS shows us quantity and quality is actually being shown to be a better predictor of fragility over time. So it's important to get that second metric. We love to collaborate with people, and I tell you, I've had a stretch. I think one, or is it two stretches or one with you, Les?
I think a couple. You've had a couple
And,
stretches.
and it was so amazing to be able to connect the dots, because Leslie kind of knew and understood what REMS could do for her clients more than I did, or before I did, and you probably knew too, Mark. Having the ability to move. Many times when we do the when we do the REM scans, people are saying to themselves, well, what do I do now? And very often what the most important thing they need to do is continue to move so that they can build bone, they can build muscle. And if they can't move, they can't do that. So cue Les to be able to allow people's body to be freed from all of the restrictions of their fascia not moving properly. So it's been a really great synergistic way for people to then, once they've had this and they're saying, what do I do now? Then they can move on to people like Leslie so that they can make sure that their bodies are in tune, they're moving really well so that they can build that bone, build that muscle to keep moving forward.
I love that. And you're absolutely right. And yes, Leslie, as a fascial stretch specialist, she's also got a background in kinesiology. She's a personal trainer, trained in nutrition. So all of those things impact what Megan just talked about, which is bone quality, the strength of your bone. So because we know we lose bone as we age over time, peak bone mass happens around 30, we start to lose bone as we age. whether your bones are good or they're not. Maybe your bone quality is good and you want to maintain that, or perhaps your bone quality isn't good because your lifestyle isn't good. Because bone quality is linked to lifestyle. But here's the good news: you can get into action and change that through what you're doing with your lifestyle choices, and that's where people like Leslie come in, because then you can have someone on your team to help you with exercise, with strength, with mobility, with nutrition, with mindset. And then, of course, have the REMS test to then see how that progress is going. Unless we've done this over the course of the last 3 years, I want you to give a bit of background about why you wanted to work with the REMS, and then what you've seen in real time with your clients, in terms of working with them and then seeing a repeat test and seeing the results change.
Yeah, so I'm gonna echo again what Megan said, because I think that piece is the most important. Where one of the biggest things you need to be able to do is lift weights, right, for your bone health. But if you're in pain, if you're in discomfort, you can't do it. And if you do try to force yourself to do it, you're going to get injured, and then that's just discouraging, and then there's no way back from that. So I wanted to say that, because I think that's the most important thing, in terms of how I can help as a fascia stretch specialist, because I also wear the functional training hat. I looked at it as another metric to show my clients that when they are making these lifestyle changes, that what they're doing is working. Because we can't necessarily see it, right? But we can see it through the data. So I'm just going to give a couple examples. So when I first heard about the DEX, I sent one of my clients there. He was turning 50. So he came to me like, I want to change my whole lifestyle. I'm turning 50. I want to feel better. I eat too much pasta, all the things. So I thought it was like a great way for him to see how over the year, what could happen. So he went in, he got the original baseline numbers, and he was like the dream client. Anything I said, he did. He did the extra things. And then I said, let's go do it again. It was about a year later. And not only did he like maintain what he had, I think he got even a little bit better in some of the metrics. That is a huge win, because we are going to lose the bone, especially at 50. Like, for him not to have lost anything is incredible. And he was so happy. So like that motivated him to keep going. So that's, as a trainer, anybody out there that's a trainer, that's why this tool is amazing. And then I'm just going to share my story. So I did the REMS, sorry, 3 years ago when you guys brought it out. And so I'm going through this whole thing where this year I'm doing all the tests, doing all the blood work, and just to see where I'm at. I'm not sick, I'm not anything, but I just want to see where I'm at, so then I can make my plan for this year, how I want to approach that. And one of them was to redo my scan. And I think the same thing, my hips stayed the same pretty much, but my spine got healthier. It did show an increase. So for me, again, because I did make drastic changes in those 3 years, I could see what I was doing was working. So again, just another example of getting that confidence, because that's what you want your clients to have, is confidence in what they're doing, and it's working.
Yeah. Currently, the standard is you're 70 years of age before you're set for the DEXA, the OHIP covered test. But peak bone mass happens at the age of 30. There's that 40 years in there where we could get into action. But the other metric that Megan talked about, having that bone quality, the strength of your bone, which is linked to lifestyle, and it's a better predictor of whether you'll fracture, is in our control. But if we don't look, we don't know. And we literally wait till we break and then we get into action. Whereas, as both Megan and Leslie were just saying, this is a way to see inside when you don't know. So your lifestyle. So for example, people with type 2 diabetes, they can have a lot of bones, so their T score could be okay. But their lifestyle might not be great. They don't eat well, they don't exercise, their gut absorption isn't good, and therefore they have a higher fragility score. The opposite can be true. You can be like an Eiffel Tower, have less bone than a brick wall, but have strong bone because of your lifestyle. And that's why the osteosound difference is about now what? It's not just about finding what your bone health is like, your density and your quality, but now what are we going to do? And that's why in comes Lisa. And this is what we love about collaboration and bringing in new people into the family, and why this works. And to me, this is the future of medicine, because all of us have to be at the table. Lisa, you are the founder of the Healing Nook, which is an awesome facility in Smith Falls. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Healing Nook is about? Because we're about to bring a stretch on scan day to your community, and we're really excited to share what you have to offer.
Yes, absolutely. First, thanks for having me here today. And I want to just share how excited I am about both of these modalities and opportunities coming together, because I've been able now to experience both of them firsthand. And I was intrigued by both when I heard about them and didn't know anything. And I can say I'm just with my experience with Leslie was incredible. And that has, kind of piqued a whole other interest for me about the ability of what we can do when we just work with our bodies. And then to come and see Margaret and Megan and have my REM scan, again, just the excitement about being able to learn about yourself at a time where you still have the opportunity to do something about it and make a change. And so bringing it back to your question, what is the Healing Nook? It's a holistic wellness hub. That's how I like to describe it. So it's a hub that brings people together for anything and everything to do with wellness, health, but not just that. So we have a section that is a retail section, so a wellness boutique. We have a group space where we do all things related to wellness in a group setting. So yoga, meditation, breath work, sound baths, FST, gentle movement, qigong, anything and everything really that you can think of. We are open to bringing it, having it, allowing it to be kind of showcased at the, I don't mean to say allowing, but bringing it so that people can see what's out there and what they're, what's available to them. And so the group space is primarily for that. And then we also have 2 smaller, what I'll call treatment rooms, where we do things like Reiki, energy work, body work, massage, one-on-one sound healing, red light, near infrared light sessions. So really just all the things that are kind of wellness, looking at a person holistically, are available there at the Healing Nook. And it's my vision to basically be the space holder of such a place, to bring the people together and just help to expand awareness and, open minds about, it's kind of what you said a few minutes ago. It's funny that you mentioned it's within our control, because my logo for the Healing Nook are 2 hands. And that is part of the concept, is that wellness really is in your hands. You run this, you've got the control. So let's do the things that, we can do and empower ourselves to take on our own wellness and really take it to the next level.
Oh my goodness, Lisa, thank you so much. And this is why we're so excited to be bringing this collaborations with Smith Falls. And thanks for your inspired leadership. And you came to me at the launch event, just so excited. You were involved in that day, soaked in everything, believe in prevention, but also have come from the lens. And I'm going to share this because I don't even know if Leslie and Megan know this, but you also have come from the world of family health teams. So you've seen and worked in both sides of this coin, allopathic and complementary medicine. And this is what I love about what the PHAM movement is doing. It is breaking down those silos, bringing people together, bringing new technologies and research to the forefront, but also encouraging collaboration to improve the health and well-being of everyday Canadians. So thank you for coming up to me at that launch event and saying, hey, Marg, I'm intrigued. And then I was thrilled. My heart was singing when then I saw you next on a stretch table with Leslie. And then you getting a scan from Megan and getting the education from me. This is what healthcare should be. And this is why we're excited to bring it to Smith Falls. So it's happening. Let's talk about this when it's happening. So it's June 2nd. Tell us where you're located in Smith Falls.
Yes. So the address is 7 Russell Street West, and we are located in a gorgeous little courtyard. It's beautiful. It is, well, you'll see when you come. It's a courtyard that has multiple little businesses within this courtyard. To find it, we're located directly across from the Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot. So that's logistically how you get to us.
Amazing.
So 7 Russell Street West, Smith Falls.
All right. And the date, Megan, that we are rolling the REMS on the road, and Leslie, you're going to be there too. We're going to talk about how that day is going to look like. Leslie can do that in a sec. But Megan, tell people what they can expect time-wise and where they can find out information.
Yeah. So June 2nd was the date we decided on, that we're very excited to all be meeting together. So I think we're still working out a few of the details, but everybody's going to be there. For us, when you're doing a scan, you're going to have your scan with me. That scan takes about, I would say, under 10 minutes. We look at the same reference sites that DEXA would look at. So we're going to look at your lumbar spine, levels 1 to 4. And we're also going to look at both of your hips. DEXA often only just looks at one hip. So having information about both sides is very valuable. And we look through the green crease at that. So all told, about a minute to take the data from the spine and about a minute and a half to have the report come up. And for the hips, it's about 40 seconds each and then a minute for each report. So if all things run smoothly, you'll be with me for about 10 minutes, and then you'll talk to Margaret probably about 15 minutes. Sometimes those conversations go longer because Marg has a lot of knowledge inside of that lovely brain of hers. So conversations can meander to anywhere that you need to go. And then hopefully we'll have a few people that will be able to kind of do both things at the same time. Or if you just want to come in and take a look and get ideas about what this is all about, we'd love to have you. So you don't have to get a scan, you don't have to get a stretch, but we'd love to meet you so that you can see what all of this is about.
Awesome. Thanks, Meg. And then the stretch portions, like Megan said, some people may choose to do both a scan and a stretch. One might just do a stretch, one might just do a scan. But as Megan said, come on in, join the family, join the Healing Nook family as well, and check it out and come and stock your toolbox. Leslie, what can they expect at a fascial stretch session with you on June 2nd?
Well, they can expect to leave feeling amazing. First off, I haven't had one person in 13 years get off and say, "Oh, I hated that." So have confidence in that. Everybody's experience, the cool part is everybody's first experience is different. So there's a lot of benefits to FST. I'm not going to get into them right now, but so everybody's first time, depending where you are physically, mentally, emotionally, you're going to have a different outcome, especially that first session. So it's going to be about a 15-minute sampler. So just to give you enough to experience a good all-round stretch. And then after that, I leave about 5 minutes, so 10 minutes of a stretch and then 5 minutes to ask any questions that you may have. And then that's it.
Now, just so for those that have never heard the word fascia, can you just very briefly, because I know we could talk for hours about what fascia is and the role that it plays in the body, but people don't realize how intricately connected it is to the nervous system, the musculoskeletal system, to the emotional system, to the immune system. What is fascia? And just give me 2 or 3 top benefits so people can really understand. Now, this isn't just a stretch. This is an experience, a full body experience.
Yeah, so I could talk for days about fascia, but just in general, it's a connective tissue that connects every single thing from your skin down to the joint. So your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your lymphatic, it's highly correlates with or works with your lymphatic system, your skeletal system, anything. It works with your emotions. So basically what it is, it's just like a thin connective tissue. If you look up the outside of a sausage, that's basically what it looks like. And it just looks like spider webs all around. Oh yeah, it's a couple benefits. So the big ones, the physical benefits, so decreased pain, tension, discomfort, increased circulation. Some other ones, sleep, helps with sleep. And then there's an emotional aspect to that too, because we house a lot of emotions in our bodies. So, that those are releases as well. And sometimes you're in pain because you're not able to release a trauma or something. You may be having a bad day or whatever it is. And that's why a lot of people leave saying, "Oh my gosh, I felt so much better after that," if it came in like stressed out or worried about something or anything like that.
Absolutely. And we always talk about hydration and the importance that has for musculoskeletal health. It's equally as important for the fascia. So this is why this kind of collaboration is magical. And we couldn't do these types of things without the collaboration support of business owners like you, Lisa. So we really want to thank you from the preventative health movement. We want to thank you for recognizing and investing in preventative health, being open to collaborate with other healthcare professionals, because we all have one vision, and that is to improve the health and well-being of the people we have the privilege of treating. So we're going to make sure we put some information in the captions where this is being shared. Make sure you book ahead. We can send the booking link. We look forward to seeing on June 2nd. If you have any questions, reach out to any of us. We are here to answer because we truly believe we're better together as one, because that philosophy of care is truly what healthcare is. Thank you, ladies, for joining.
Thank you.